Welcome to I Love Asian Dramas. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel to get notified when new videos are uploaded. The title of this Korean romance and melodrama series is Mask from SBS with 20 episodes. The series begins when a woman drives a car that falls off the cliff. At that moment, the woman was talking to a man on the phone. Due to her desperate situation, the woman agreed to the man's offer. Afterwards, the woman's family and friends are mourning her death. On the other hand, Minwoo, a chaebol heir, attended a fashion show together with her fiancée, Eunha, a rich woman who looks like Jisook. After some time, beyond Jisook, a poor woman who looks like Eunha was scolded by her superior because she got the lowest sales at the store. Shortly, while eating, Jisook's colleague told her that she saw someone who looked exactly like her, but they did not take it seriously and made up stories about it. Subsequently, Jisook was pressured to pay his father's debts. So, in order to solve her financial problem, Jisook takes all the insults that the bullies did to her just to get the money. Later, Eunha, a rich classmate of Jisook, tries to take her to the hotel. Luckily, Eunha did not persist when Jisook declined and gave Jisook a roll of money she needed. Meanwhile, Minwoo saw Jisook on the street, very drunk, thinking it was his fiancee, Eunha. Minwoo takes Jisook to the hotel in order to get sober. On another occasion, Eunha read an article in the magazine stating that if you see your doppelganger first, it means you will die. Eventually, Eunha sees Jisook first at the mall. Later, at the hospital, Jisook asked her mother if she had a twin because she saw a woman who looked very similar to her. Shortly, Jisook and her brother were very desperate because they needed to pay the hospital bills of their father. On a separate note, Minwoo and Eunha were eating together. However, the waitress serving their wine put some pills in it, leading to Eunha's death and Minwoo feeling dizzy. Meanwhile, Miyun, the sister of Minwoo and wife of Sookhun, was angry with her husband, Sookhun, because she wanted him to side with her when she was arguing with Eunha. At that time, Minwoo saw Eunha floating in the pool. Because of this, Minwoo recalls his mother died of drowning. Shortly, Sookhun saves Eunha, but unfortunately, she is in a coma because she arrives too late at the hospital. Soon after, Minwoo and his family gathered together to check the CCTV footage of the incident. However, someone deleted the recordings. On another occasion, Sookhun was shocked to see Jisook, who looked exactly like Eunha. Meanwhile, Sookhun offers Jisook to pose as Eunha, and she will be rich. However, she declines the offer. On the other hand, Jisook's family was harassed by the loan sharks because they could not pay their debts yet. On a separate note, while paying some of her father's debt, Jisook saw a man tortured by the loan shark and passed out. The loan shark thought Jisook was a witness to their murder. A little later, the man woke up, and they tried to escape. Unfortunately, one of the loan sharks caught Jisook, and they accidentally fell off the cliff. Afterwards, Jisook wakes up at the hospital. Sookhun made Jisook sign a written agreement that states that only when the creditor dies will the debt disappear. Then Jisook started acting as Eunha. Jisook must pretend to lose her memory in order not to be caught as a fake Eunha. Not long after, Jisook was shocked to see Eunha's dead body. Sookhun told Eunha that if she tries to call the police, she will definitely be framed as the one who killed the loan shark. Shortly, Jisook escapes from Eunha's apartment and goes to the police station. However, she was intercepted by Sookhun. Then she realizes that she's too weak to fight with Sookhun. On a separate note, it turns out that Minwoo's psychiatrist is one of Sookhun's men. The psychiatrist manipulated Minwoo's hypnosis to make him believe he caused Eunha's accident. On the other hand, Jisook's family was devastated to see Eunha's dead body because they thought it was Jisook. Subsequently, Jisook saw her family crying at Eunha's funeral, which broke her heart. Jisook decided to marry Minwoo in order to help her family's financial crisis, and she also knows that she cannot defeat Sookhun. Subsequently, Jisook will live together with Minwoo's family since they are already married. Later, the chairman and Minwoo's father told Jisook that she would be working at the gallery to help regain her memory. Shortly, Jisook was very nervous when shopping together with a VVIP client because she didn't want to get caught by her fellow worker. Luckily, her colleagues thought that Jisook was someone who only looked like their friend. Afterwards, Jisook saw the post from her brother online that it was her mother's birthday. Jisook wanted to give her mother a present, however, Sookhun prevented her from being caught. On the other hand, Jisook was so worried because her mother hadn't returned home yet. Due to this, Jisook tries to find her mother openly without the fear of getting caught. As a result, Sookhun instructed his right-hand man to kill Jisook by hitting her with his car. Fortunately, Jisook was saved by Minwoo. A little later, Jisook finally found her mother. At the hospital, Sookhun and Eunha pretended that her mother was her nanny to keep the secret hidden. On the other hand, Minwoo started to care for Jisook. Minwoo carried Jisook to bed, even though he hates physical contact. On a different occasion, Jisook was at the party while dancing with her husband. Then, Jisook was shocked by the sudden appearance of her brother. In the morning, Jisook told Minwoo's family that she didn't know the guy at the party. However, Miyun told Jisook that she would know it eventually. Meanwhile, Sookhun was so angry with Jisook, because if he had not switched the DNA results, Jisook's cover had already been blown. Shortly, Sookhun approves Jisook meeting her brother, provided she puts an end to it. Soon after, at the restaurant, Jisook told her brother not to bother her again. Jisook gave him money, but her brother tore it and said that he would never bother her again. On a different note, Minwoo takes Jisook to his mother's grave. From afar, Jisook was amazed by Minwoo playing the violin beautifully. In the next scene, Jisook accidentally drops her wedding ring into the river. When she found it, it was lost again because she slipped and was almost carried by the current of the water. Fortunately, Minwoo was there to save her. At night, upon going home, their car broke down in the middle of the road. Minwoo told Jisook to take her clothes off to prevent hypothermia. Then, they were seen by Sookhun from afar cuddling without clothes on. On a different occasion, Jisook tried paying the debts. However, Jisook was having a hard time doing it while keeping her true identity hidden. On a separate note, Jisook wanted to buy a separate bed for her. Minwoo rejected all of Jisook's chosen items because he wanted Jisook to sleep beside him. Not long after, Minwoo and Jisook were drinking. Minwoo confessed his feelings to Jisook. Because of this, Jisook told Minwoo that she was not the real Eunha. However, it was interrupted by Sookhun. Meanwhile, the chairman decided that Jisook and Miyun would work at their company and must be low-level employees. However, the senior employees were flustered by Miyun's personality as a new employee. On a different note, Sookhun killed Youngtae because he knew too much about the true identity of Jisook. Not long after, Jisook's brother tried to call her. However, Jisook answered not to bother her. Feeling worried, Jisook turned on her phone. Feeling anxious after hearing her brother's voice message, she went out with her husband to find her brother. Unfortunately, she ended up at the police station for an overspeeding violation. Luckily, Minwoo was there to help her. Soon after, Jisook's brother almost killed Youngtae. Fortunately, he changed his mind. Surprisingly, Jisook saves his younger brother. As a result, her identity was revealed. On a separate note, Sookhun told Jisook to drag Minwoo down in exchange for his brother's safety. On a different occasion, the loan sharks are asking for money on Jisook. So, Jisook borrowed money from Minwoo, but unfortunately, it was intercepted by the prosecutors due to an alleged acceptance of a bride. In the office, the employees were gossiping about Minwoo. They thought that Minwoo had a psychological disorder and might be replaced soon as their director. Because of this, Jisook tries to comfort Minwoo. Jisook takes Minwoo out for food. Shortly, Minwoo receives a call from home that his house has been inspected by the prosecutors. This incident was part of Sookhun's plan to replace Minwoo as director. At the directors' meeting, the agenda was the dismissal of Director Cho Minwoo. However, Jisook saves Minwoo by telling the directors that she is the wife of Minwoo and that the sleeping pills found in Minwoo's bedroom were hers. On a different occasion, Jisook has a video of Sookhun killing Youngtae. As a result, Sookhun reactivated all of Eunha's bank accounts in exchange for the original copy of the video. Afterwards, Jisook paid off all their debts from the loan shark. After some time, Jisook took Minwoo to a different doctor. Then, they found out that the drug he'd taken had hallucinogenic effects. Therefore, all his visions were false. This incident devastated Minwoo. Fortunately, Jisook was there to comfort him. On a different note, Miyun and her mother were shopping at the department store. Suddenly, they bump into Jisook's colleagues. They were shocked when they saw Jisook's resume. Curious, Miyun went to Jisook's address and saw Jisook's brother. Miyun asked Jisook's brother about his real relationship with Jisook. Jisook's brother answered that Jisook is her sister and lied that her sister is dead. On a different occasion, Sookhun instructed the maid to put medicine in Minwoo's wine. Fortunately, his plan didn't succeed. At Eunha's birthday celebration, Minwoo sings her a birthday song. In exchange, Jisook played the piano beautifully. Shortly after, Jisook was happy with Minwoo's flower gift for her. However, Jisook told Minwoo that he was the best gift she had received. Moreover, Jisook receives an expensive ring from Minwoo as a surprise present. On a separate note, it turns out that Miyun was behind the death of Eunha. On the other hand, Jisook's family was very happy with their newly opened coffee shop. Shortly, the siblings bonded by eating their mother's home-cooked meal. Later on, Sookhun saw the CCTV footage of how Eunha died. This made Sookhun devastated. Some time later, Jisook told Minwoo that she loved him. Suddenly, Jisook confessed her feelings to him, thinking she might have lost Minwoo in a car accident. On another occasion, Sookhun threatened the chairman. Sookhun sent an anonymous package with a video of his daughter killing Eunha. As a result, the chairman reprimanded Miyun. He told his daughter not to mess with Eunha. At that time, the chairman was unaware that the true Eunha was dead. On a separate note, Minwoo knows that his wife is not the real Eunha. Because of this, Jisook plans to tell Minwoo the truth. Subsequently, Jisook told Minwoo about her true identity. However, Minwoo was not flustered because he knew the facts. Meanwhile, during the charity event, Jisook was almost hit by a falling stage light. Luckily, she was saved by Minwoo. On a separate note, Jisook told Minwoo that she wanted a divorce, but Minwoo disagreed because she needs Eunha. But the truth is, Minwoo was in love with Jisook, while Jisook wanted to protect Minwoo. On a different occasion, Sookhun shot Minwoo. Fortunately, it was just a graze because Jisook saved him. Meanwhile, Minwoo told Jisook that he doesn't want a divorce because he loves her, then they kissed each other. On the other hand, Miyun was annoyed at Sookhun for harming his younger brother. As a result, Miyun told Sookhun to get out of the house. After some time, the chairman called Sookhun. He asked for his help because his house was being investigated by the prosecutors, and he needed his help. Meanwhile, Jisook wanted to tell Minwoo's family that she was not the real Eunha. Unfortunately, it was intercepted by Sookhun. Sookhun threatened Jisook that her family would be in danger the moment she revealed the truth. Shortly, Jisook made a deal with Sookhun that she was going to leave and would have a new identity. However, Sookhun plans to kill her. Subsequently, Sookhun burned the vacation house in order to kill Jisook. Afterwards, Minwoo faced his fear of the water in order to save Jisook from the fire. Luckily, they made it out alive. After some time, Minwoo tries his best to find his missing wife. Meanwhile, Jisook is alive in an unknown place. Shortly, Jisook was abducted to meet Miyun. Miyun told Jisook to choose. It's either she lives or dies. Soon after, Jisook escapes from her kidnapper and unexpectedly meets Minwoo on the road. At the press conference, Jisook reveals every truth she knew. Their respective families were shocked. Then, every suspect involved was arrested by the police, except for Sookhun, who escaped from the scene. Shortly after, Miyun decided to end her life. Later, Sookhun went to Miyun's funeral, but he was driven out by the chairman. Later, Sookhun spent his time in prison. For years later, Jisook celebrated her birthday outside of prison. Then the series ends with Minwoo and Jisook enjoying a picnic at the park with their lovely daughter. Thank you for watching.